So today we're going to be looking at the apps that I would recommend installing when you first get your new Mac. We all know that feeling when you unwrap that new MacBook Pro, that iMac, that Mac Pro, if you're lucky enough to have one of them, that you just want to install the apps that are going to make your life easier. Well, for me, I have a small list of apps that I always install when I set up a new Mac with a fresh install. I often find lately that I've been removing more applications. I want to keep my experience on my Mac clean, fast, and efficient. And these are some of the apps that I would recommend installing to make your life that little bit easier and make your Mac function slightly better. I use the Mac on a day-to-day basis, and with these apps in this video, I couldn't use my Mac without them. So hopefully you'll find something useful in this video, and let's switch over to my Mac and I'll show you what they are. Coming in number one, and these aren't in any particular order. These are just a couple of apps that I would recommend installing. So the first one is Clean My Mac, and I'm sure you've heard of this before. Every YouTuber covers this. Every YouTuber is sponsored by this. Personally, we're not sponsored, unfortunately, but this is the Clean My Mac X app, and it's fantastic. Now, obviously, when you see things sponsored online, you think, it's going to be one of those things you just don't need on your Mac because your Mac stays quite clean, and it really does. And before I had this, I got to say, there wasn't a point where I thought, I really need that. But after I got it, I thought, okay, this is one great bit of kit. Now, whenever you remove an application on Mac OS, as I'm sure you know, you can go to the Applications folder, right-click, move to Trash, and that's how 99% of people do it. When you do that, it won't remove all of your files related to the app, so you're going to have still junk files left on your system, all of that sort of stuff. This deals with that for you. Not only that, it has a whole bunch of other capabilities built in. It has a nice menu bar feature, and the main thing is it's clean and it looks like a nice app. It doesn't look like one of those apps that you download is like malware scanning and it's got loads of pop-ups in your face. It doesn't look like that. It looks very professional, very clean, and it looks like it should be on a Mac. It looks very, very good. So in here you can do things like you can run a smart scan, which will scan all of your computer's data. You can go to system junk, and as it says in here, clean up your system junk, optimize your system, all that sort of stuff. So it's really, really handy. Another great thing is when you want to remove some apps, you can go to the uninstaller section, and inside of here you can remove the apps which you don't need. The handy part about this is it will remove all the files related to the app which you don't use anymore. So to uninstall an app from this app, you can just click it, and then you can just click uninstall, and you can do multiple apps at the same time. So let's say I want to uninstall Xquartz and Twitch here. Tick them off, uninstall, and the app takes care of it all for you. Now what's going to happen if it doesn't work, you get a nice little sound, is you'll get a little view log, and if you click that you can go in and view what's gone wrong, what it couldn't remove, etc. Very good app. So one thing that Windows does better to the Mac, which makes sense as is in the name, is window management. I'm sure you heard this before, and I'm sure you've came across this issue on your Mac before. When you're trying to move your Mac apps around, you can't move them to each side of the screen. You can't full screen it very easily. You just saw then that I could. But on a stock Mac, you wouldn't be able to do that. Now, with the app Magnet, you are able to do that. Now, there's 101 different apps for this sort of thing out there, but personally, Magnet has worked great for me. It functions perfectly, and it does exactly what I want it to do. The lovely part about Magnet is it's very, very easy to set up nice key bindings. If you've got an ultra-wide monitor, that sort of thing, this is great for that. So what you can do with Magnet is it does exactly what it says in the name. It magnets to the sides of your screen or anywhere on the screen you like. For example, let's say you wanted this Word document here. This is just what I've opened up to show you as an example. Let's say you wanted this Word document on the right hand side of your screen. All you got to do is drag it to the right hand side, and as you can see there, you'll get a nice little window pop up telling you where it's going to go. Now let's say you're in the flow, you're working in that productivity mindset, and you just want to keep going, but you don't want to start messing around with your windows and rearranging it. You just want it on the other side of the screen and fast. So I can hold down Control, Option, and then left arrow key, and we've got it on the left hand side of the screen. The same with the right hand side, and then you can go up, down, and then you can go around like that. So this app is really handy for window management because it allows you to quickly snap windows to different sides of the screens. If I had two documents at the same time, we can snap one to one side of the screen and one to the other, and then let's say we wanted this one on that side, we can move that and then move this one over here as well, and then reposition that one. And you can do the same with the top and the bottom. So this is really, really handy for window management on Mac OS. So I'm sure on your Mac, you're going to be doing emails here and there, and emails are probably an important part of your life. Now, an email client is something that I am very, very picky with. I've been through many email clients, Microsoft Outlook. I really love the default Apple Mail app, but I'll explain why I don't like that in a second. There's a whole bunch of apps that I've used. EM Client, Thunderbird, I've used all these mail apps, and none of them compare to Spark, which is what we're in here. Now, Spark is a robust mail app, and it does everything you need and syncs up with all the accounts you need. It's like a better version of Outlook. Outlook on Windows PCs is the best mail app without a doubt. This is like Outlook for Mac, and it does everything slightly better than Outlook for the Mac. If Outlook was a really good application on the Mac, I definitely use it, but there's so many features that just don't work very well on Outlook for Mac. So within Spark, you can do things such as scheduling. So if I was to go write a new email here, so let's say we're inside of a new email, and I write dear name, and then so on, and you write out your whole email inside of here, and let's say you now want this email to go out, but you don't want it to go out today. Let's say they've just emailed you and you want there to be a slight delay between you responding to their email so it doesn't look too upfront and too forward. I don't know. You may use this feature in many different ways, but I find that it works very well on Spark, and you don't actually need to have your email application open, which a lot of these apps do. So what you can do is you can come down here to this button down here and you can choose a time. So we could say, I want to send that tomorrow at 12. You just go set time, and then we have to put in a name. So you'd write your to, and then you just click schedule, and the email would then be scheduled to go out tomorrow, which is very, very handy. Spark is a great app. It also gives you 5 seconds before the email is actually sent officially. So let's say you write out an email, it will then bring up a button down here that will allow you to undo that email, which is very, very handy, just in case you send something with a spelling mistake or that you sent to the wrong person and so on. So Spark is my mail app of choice, and I would highly recommend it. So next up would be Alfred. Now, I'm sure you've heard of this. Spotlight is a fantastic feature on the Mac. It's brilliant. It works much better than Windows search feature. It's fantastic, and I use it all of the time. But sometimes even Spotlight can feel that it needs that little something a little bit more. So Alfred is a Spotlight alternative, and personally I love Alfred. It does just speed you up and make things that slightly bit quicker. So within Alfred you can do anything. You can find anything, go anywhere, and do anything inside of Alfred. And I install this on all of my new Macs as soon as I set them up. It just makes you that bit faster. Now, often is one of those apps where you think, oh, it's going to save me 2 seconds every time I use it. Those 2 seconds add up, and after you've used it, you'll realize that actually Alfred is fantastic and I'd like to be using it more. For example, if I were to say, let's say I needed to order some fake plants for my office, and I had to go through Chrome, I had to go at Amazon, and then I got to search for it. Well, inside of Alfred, you can do it all in one place. So we can just simply open up Alfred. It might pop into your head, oh, I need those fake plants. And then you just come to here, you can do fake plants, and then you can go down to Amazon, or you can do Control 2, and it's going to instantly open up your Amazon page with exactly what you typed in. You can then choose. It is a little bit annoying for the people of the UK because it does auto to US, but still it works in the same principle. Again, if we were to open up Alfred and go, let's say we want to order some G Fuel, and then we go down to Amazon, and as simple as that, it's going to open up our Amazon page. So I'm sure you will take notes of some sort, whether that's on a pen and paper, on your Mac, in the default Mac Notes app, whatever it may be. I'm sure you take notes somewhere on your Mac. Recently, I have come across a new app that is fantastic. It's called Notion, and it's free for personal use, and I think it's fantastic. It's the best note-taking app I have personally ever used. I've used Evernote, Bear, Drafts, many different note-taking apps, and Notion just does it for me. It makes it easy to share files, share notes, and just makes you faster at typing notes. It makes me want to take notes on all different types of subjects, so I'd really recommend Notion. So just giving you an example here, when you sign up to Notion, like I said, it is free for personal use. So I'm going to select for myself here, and this is exactly how it would be for you. You can use it in browser, but personally I think the Mac app is fantastic, and it syncs up with your mobile devices as well, whether that be iOS, iPad, whatever it may be. It will sync up with any other devices as well, which is fantastic. So now we're inside of our Notion. It's going to give you a whole load of templates template notes, which you can sort of do what you like with. But the great thing about Notion is it's just how it lays everything out and makes everything clean. So let's say we want to open up a new note page. So I always see these as your notebooks because you can drop down and add pages inside of these. So let's just call this one test, and you can give it a nice icon. So let's give it a money, why not? And then inside of this, you can make another page. So we could do test 2. So this could be our page inside of this page. And the great thing about it is there's a few things, but what I like is how quickly you can actually get with this. Just like you can with Spotlight and Alfred, you can get really fast at using Notion. So it speeds up your note-taking apps. There's no distractions, there's no silly formatting options. It does it all for you straight from the keyboard. So let's see, I need a heading. So I need a H3 heading. So you can simply do /H3, enter, and then instantly you're typing in our header text. The same goes for anything else you're doing. You can do /bold, you can do /table, and you can make nice tables inside of Notion, which is very good. And inside these tables there is just a whole load of features included, and it's just so robust, and I can't justify in a quick 30-second clip, but I'd really recommend taking a look at it, and it is great for teamwork. I use this to run my businesses and it's fantastic. For example, you can come to your little notebook here, make sure inside of it you can come up here to share, and then you can share it on the web, get a nice link there, or you can invite people, etc, etc, and then have access to everything inside of this notebook. So test, and then inside of here as well, and then further any notes you take. You can also set up workplaces, which are more for people of a larger team, which you can share a whole bunch of notes inside of it. So it would be just like this, but any notes you make, they'd automatically be shared with the people in your team, which is very, very handy. But yeah, I can't justify it in this small little clip, but Notion would be one that I'd highly recommend. Okay guys, so thank you for tuning in and watching this video. I hope you found something useful in this video, and hopefully you can go and download some of these apps. Not all of them are free, unfortunately, but they all seem to be worth the investment for me. They're really not too expensive, and I would recommend them. For more from us, check out our website, which is linked down below, where you can find more blog posts and read this video in a text format. You will also find all of the download links there. Some nice Mac accessories and everything you need for your Mac can be found on our website, which is down below, techx.com. So I'd recommend checking that out. Feel free to subscribe and like this video, and we will catch you in the next one. Thank you very much.